Hello, how you doing? This is Vince Hughes with Steel Estimating Solutions. In this video, we're going to go and answer the question of why the Steel Erection Bid Wizard and why eTakeoff, which is a digital takeoff software. And that answer is really pretty simple. And that would be to gain speed and accuracy. And I think once you get done seeing my presentation here on this little video that you can see why I make that claim. So basically, if you're running around now and you're going and picking up plans and coming back to the office doing your takeoff, or if you're getting PDFs and going out and getting them printed so you can come back to the office and do takeoffs, you're basically throwing money away. Especially in today's world, you're getting your drawings on a PDF. If you get set up properly with nice size monitors, you can do the takeoff right on your computer in half the time of what you're doing a takeoff now currently on a hard set of plans. And I think I'll be able to show you that here pretty quickly. So basically I upload the plans, the PDF, into the takeoff software. And the first thing I'll do is I'm going to start off by counting my beams, because I'm going to have the system count all the beams for me, all the shear studs for me on automation. And to do that, it's real simple. Up here on the left hand side, these are my traces. So I've created a plugin for many takeoff softwares, but of course this one is eTakeoff. And so basically all these traces, tasks, are inside the Steel Erection Bid Wizard. So they're already pre-created for you. So all I do to start counting the beams is select the beam size. And I'll come and rope around the W16X. I don't get the weight, I just get 16X. Little window pops open. I adjust my sensitivity down to 60. Select these two boxes, select the floor I'm searching, and I hit search. Now the beautiful thing and time-saving thing about eTakeoff is it allows me to do multiple searches at the same time. So we got these shear studs. We got many different, we got 32s, 40s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some searches for shear studs. So I come to that trace for shear stud, select it. Rope around the 32 in brackets. I'll adjust my sensitivity to about 82. Because I want to find only 32 in brackets, and hit search. And then we got these 40s, so I'll come one more time. And as you know, when you're taking off shear studs, there's multiple quantities of shear studs in the brackets. And it's probably your highlight of your day is counting shear studs, I would assume. Let's come on down here. There's a 26 down here at the bottom. Do one more search. And I could literally go ahead and grab them all, but sometimes it's quicker when it's just like a one-off to count those manually instead of doing a search. Hit search. So now we got over here on the right-hand side, you'll see I have 4 searches going. And now the beautiful thing is I don't have to wait for those searches to get done. I will continue to do my takeoff. So I'll come to my columns. And basically this is a 3-story building. So I'm going to go and get a 40-foot average column. And you can take your columns off on your foundation plans or your floor plan. I do it on the floor plan myself personally. It's a preference, I'm sure. And then I just come around and I click on all the columns. But when you go digital, it's about getting speed. So instead of me coming and clicking every single column, what I'll do is I'll click one row. Of course, it has to be a typical type situation. Select it, and then I will copy them. Drag it down, and so now what I'm doing is instead of clicking one time and counting just one, I'm counting 5 at a time. of course we'll still have to run around and count the ones that aren't typical. That's easy enough to do. These ones and these shorter ones over here on the side. So now the columns are counted. We'll come over here and we got a couple moment welds. They're 22 pounds per foot. So I'll come to my trace for the moment weld. And you'll see it's pounds per foot. So I do the 0 to 29 pounds. Count those. Then over here we have some channels. There's some 6-inch channels. So for me, if it sets like a beam, I'll take it off like a beam. So I'll come here to a 610 standard beam. And of course, I would have to look at that detail and see if it welded. But if it bolted, it'd be just like we're setting a 8 to 10 standard beam for that size of a channel. And so I will take it off like a beam. If it welded, I would add a welded connection to it. Just simple as that. And like I say, the beautiful thing is we're doing this while all the beams and shear studs are being counted for us. We go ahead and come to angle. We'll get the perimeter angle. Just a matter of going to the corners and counting, or clicking I should say. So there's a perimeter angle. And then we also have 2-line safety cable that we got to put up, install. So what I'll do, instead of clicking around the perimeter again, I'll just take my angle, I'll copy it. And once I copy it, I right click on it, edit trace. Click those little dots, change it to perimeter safety cable, grab the cable. Now it's safety cable. You'll see over here we have 1,000 foot. So of course there's 500 foot all the way around. Then it doubles it because it's a 2-line. And then I'll copy this one more time, because we also have to have safety posts. So I'll go ahead and take the cable, put it where it goes, right there on top of the angle, then come back and select the cable again on the one that I copied, right click, edit trace, click the little dots here, safety cable, safety post. And now that's safety post, and you'll see right here, safety post, we counted 62 of them. So that's based on 8 foot on centers, which I've programmed into the plug-in, or the extension they call it on eTakeoff. And then we just move it to where the cable goes. And so now we basically took off the perimeter angle, counted some beams, some channels there, took off the safety post, safety cable, and the columns, and now my searches are done. So I'll come over here and double click on these binoculars, and it'll open up my beams. And I have to go through the beams and verify, because I have I'm not just counting, looking for the W16 beams. I'm looking for every single beam that's on this page. So it runs that search, and then I filter through it real quick, and I select only what's a 16 to 21. And of course, you know, the Steel Erection Bid Wizard has tried true production rates for labor, crane, and weld time for all the different beams. So example, 6 to 10, or 8 to 10, 12, 14, 16, 21. And it includes the whole process, what it takes to install that beam, including the bolting. So that's why I'm searching by the different size beams, so it has the correct production rate going to it. So I will verify that I've got all the 16 to 21s selected, and then I will hit save and continue. And now you'll see the W10s are left and the other beams as well. I'll change the beam size to 6 to 10, save and continue, get the 12 to 14s, change it to the beam size, and then we're last to the W24. And hit save. So now we look at this page, you'll see every single beam on this page is now counted. And so now we'll come down here and go to our shear studs. First one's 32, so I got to verify that they are all 32 in brackets because I am signing a multiplier. So I'll go ahead and once I filtered it, made it right, I will select it. And I'll come over to the right hand side and I'll apply a multiplier. As soon as I put in 32, hit enter on the keyboard, it totals up 1,792 shear studs. Then I'll come to the next one. And those are all the 40s, so I hit save. And I'll have to come click on that 40. Assign the multiplier, 40. Enter. And then we've got the last one here. And it is the 26. Hit save. Assign the multiplier. And so now you see we counted 2,534 shear studs, and now we do have some 14s, a 16, and some other one-off ones. So you can run a search again, but sometimes you'll find that it's just as easy to come here. Once I've got the majority of them, come here to my shear stud, select it, say 14, and then come count those 14s. Then if I hit in on my keyboard, it'll make this field go blank again. So now I can put in 16, enter, come over and count it. And then we have some 30s on the perimeter there. And you get the gist. I'm not going to go ahead and get the other one-off ones, but you get the idea of what I'm doing here. And so once we've got that, of course, we have to go around to the details. I am going to show you one detail because there's a pretty cool feature that we can do here on this detail. Right here, this 7 on S302, it goes to every one of these little columns that's going around the perimeter. So on a detail like this, this is how I would handle that. Come to that detail page. Because it happens in multiple locations, which is right here, 7 on S302. We got this HSS, couple kickers, couple wedge anchors. So what I would do in this case is I would actually take this off right on this detail. Get some kickers. Vertical anchors, 1/2 inch. Move that right here to keep them all tight. Rope around them all. Drag into the project favorites. Right click, edit description. 7S302. Say OK. And then I would actually delete these because I'm going to put them on the plan. I don't want them taken off on the detail. Come back to my page. And then I'm just going to left click, drag and drop at each one of these locations. And so now instead of me clicking 5 times to do that takeoff, I just drag and I drop it right onto the page. Or another way you could do it is to rope around them, copy it, and drag and drop them in that fashion. And again, I won't go all the way around, but you get the idea. It's amazing. The project favorites is a really cool tool because you can use that for so many different things. So for example, if the second floor and the third floor were the exact same, I could take off the second floor, highlight it, drag it into project favorites, go to the third floor, and then drag it onto the third floor, and I have my quantity takeoff done on the third floor. So that's just something just to throw out there about project favorites. And then Myself, I always take off my deck last. That way, once I've completed the takeoff, I do the deck and I know I'm done with that page. So to take out the deck's pretty simple. We just come, click corners of the building. So we took off the deck, and what I like about a digital takeoff, it doesn't matter what the shape of the building is. It will get you exact square footage, makes it real simple. I gotta run this angle around here. And so when I do a takeoff, I always do it by a floor or by area. And with a digital takeoff, it's very simple. Like with eTakeoff, once I finish my takeoff, I will highlight it all. Come over here to work breakdowns, type in second floor. Now when I bring this into the Steel Erection Bid Wizard, it will be priced by floor, which makes it nice for scheduling as well as being able to break out a bid if need be. And then let's just jump over here to stairs real quick, just to give you an idea how I take off the stairs. Real simple, quick process. I always take them off on the architectural page, the elevations. But basically the column's already going to be taken off on the structural page. But I would come here and get my flights, count them. Landings. The guardrail. And of course this is going to be a guardrail on both sides because it's an exterior stair, so it won't have the wall rail. So I'll run through the guardrail one time. Instead of doing that 2 times, what I would do is highlight it, copy it. Now I've got both rails taken off. Rope around it, call it stairs, and that'll be broken out separately as well. So that's a real quick run through of the benefits of doing a digital takeoff for your steel erection projects. I think you can see the speed that you can get it done. Makes it happen really, really quick. The more you use it, the faster you get, and you start learning little tricks. And one of the benefits too I want to point out to you so you know it's there. I have other videos showing it, but let me just show it real quick. Is for details, instead of you having to flip over here and flip pages, the way it works in eTakeoff is I have a second view window. And this goes on my second monitor. So basically this is a detail that I set up. So if I got to go to S401, I hit these binoculars, go to S401, I'll be at that page now. If I got to go to S301, hit these binoculars, select 301. Makes it very easy to navigate around. This is on your second monitor, and all we're doing is looking left to right. We're not flipping no pages. We can look at what's going on with the detail, do the takeoff. Makes it very quick and simple. Let me come here real quick, get rid of this. And so then once we're done with our takeoff, we can export a report out of it. Just like on the measurement list summary, it pulls up the report. You'll see the floors listed and the stairs are separate. I would name it the job name Takeoff, and I would save this file to my job folder where I have my plans. This one I'm just going to save to the desktop. And then from there, we're going to open up the Steel Erection Bid Wizard. Select a new bid. And I have demo videos out there too on the Steel Erection Bid Wizard that will go more into depth. But right now, I'm just showing you the process of bringing that takeoff into the Bid Wizard. Come down here to task. And being I've set up that, took off that by floor, I'd have to set that up first before I import the file in. So I set up those areas. And that import task from file. You see I integrate with many softwares, takeoff softwares, fabrication softwares, modeling softwares. You select the app you're using, navigate to the file that you sent out of the takeoff software. Select the file, import. It's going to tell you, well done, quantities for 18 tasks successfully imported. We'll go ahead and hit close. Then we'd come down and delete 0 tasks, because each one of these task categories has right at 300 tasks in them. Of course, this project didn't have them for every single task. So we'll delete 0 tasks. Now if I expand all, you will see what was in that job I just took off, all the quantities. And then you'll also be able to see that we have the man hours, crane hours, weld hours, and cost by floor. Then all we do is run up here, put our crew size, select our wage rate, come in and put some equipment that you need for the project. So we'll grab a forklift. And I think one of the really nice things about Steel Erection Bid Wizard is it allows you to take somebody that has some experience with plans or really no experience with plans, been out in the field, bring them in, you take your knowledge, put it in the system, and very simple to get them up to speed doing a takeoff. So it makes it very easy to train somebody, because you put your knowledge, you get your production rates dialed in to what you feel they need to be. It does come defaulted with production rates that I feel are tried and true, but you have the ability to tweak them. But once you get it set up to your preferences, it's very easy to sit down somebody and train them to how to run the system. So once we put in our equipment and all that, there we got our price for the project. You got your many different reports, generate your bid proposal that comes out on automation, very simple process. With that said, I think you can see there how quickly you can go through here, do a takeoff, import in the Steel Erection Bid Wizard, and get your price. I think it maybe took me not even 5 minutes to bring the takeoff into the Bid Wizard, put my equipment, my crane, and I got my bid. And with that said, I think we'll leave it at that. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Number's 505-249-2390. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Hopefully you do see the benefit and we can have a conversation. Have an awesome day.